Thank you always for everything that you do for our students. I know many of you are working virtually at home. I know some of you are going in intermittently throughout the week. I think each college has its own flavor of readjusting to COVID for spring 2021. And whatever your work schedule, please continue to do whatever is necessary to stay safe, not only for yourselves and your family. We are still working for the most part remotely. We've had a few COVID breakouts in the building, and so I think they've been shooing us away from the system office as much as possible. So if you need to reach out to us, I think most of you have my cell phone number. Feel free to call or text as needed. If not, feel free to use email to reach out to us should any issues and problems arise. Today, we have some updates that I'll be giving. We also have a special guest who I'll turn over to the floor in just a moment. And then there'll be a few questions that I'll prompt to the group so that folks can have an opportunity to share their comments, thoughts, or ideas with everyone in order to give an opportunity to hear from you. So the first, I'd like to turn it over to our guest speaker this morning, who's actually one of us. He's coming to us now in his new role. And so I'd like to introduce Mr. Gabriel Rayner, formerly from Carteret Community College, where he worked in student services for over 14 years. Now he serves as the Senior Admissions Counselor for Diversity and Inclusion at UNCW. And so, Mr. Rayner, I see you're on, and I'll turn the floor over to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Evans. I appreciate that, and I appreciate the opportunity to be able to just speak to you just for a few minutes. For those that do not know me, as he mentioned, I am Gabriel Rayner, Senior Mission Counselor for Diversity and Inclusion at UNC Wilmington, and I'm very excited about this new role that I am taking on, and it has a lot of great things behind it. I do want to say to you all, I was kind of thinking before, I said, wow, this is a great opportunity, not just to talk about, kind of what we have going on and what we want to do, but to just encourage you to keep pushing, to do it. What you're doing every day for our students is vital. It is appreciated. And trust me, I totally get it. And I'm doing it right there with you. And I just want to encourage you to keep pushing and keep giving your very best every single day, because it matters. Get your rest and make sure you're filling up with the right things so you can issue those good things out to our students. Now, what I wanted to really just kind of get into is just to say that from the Office of Admission at UNC Wilmington, my goal is to start collaborating with you all at your individual institutions. I want to be able to provide some specific programming for the different institutions, the MMSI programs that the different institutions have you in on campus. We're talking about college tours, sessions with our faculty and our staff, specific webinars, things that we have that are already on the calendar. And Dr. Evans, I didn't really mention this. I wanted to see if it was possible at some point to get some contact information from the individual schools, whoever that contact is. We're very active right now and reaching out. So for many of you, if you do not know, there were two positions that were created in the Office of Admission at UNC Wilmington with specific purpose to help with diversity and inclusion on our campus. One of those being mine, and I'm excited about that because I do know you all. I know how it works. I just wanted really quick also to give you a couple programs that we have that are coming up. The first week of March, we have a speaker that will be on our campus. It's a virtual opportunity for you to have some programming for your campus. The speaker is Mr. Kiese Lehman, and he is pretty well known for his memoir entitled Heavy. This is something that we've worked really hard to get done and provide programming, not just for our students, but for your students as well. So you can definitely connect with me. You have my email there. If you're interested, I'll definitely send something out as well as soon as I get that contact. The week of April 19th, we are finalizing pieces of a multicultural week. These are virtual sessions that we will have that are available to your students. Many different pieces from the financial aid standpoint to some mock classrooms and student organizations. All of these things are going to be available throughout that week. I'll send you information on that as well as the time rolls closer. And one of the big things that I really wanted to be able to mention this morning is a scholarship that we have right now for our diverse with the process of talking about diversity and inclusion. It is called the 1898 scholarship. This is a very important push, and I say this because I know some of our students that come are, we know that that's a big piece of financial aid is a big piece. Well, if we can talk to them, if you can get your students, if they are interested, this is an amazing way to get a very well-deserved scholarship, between $2,000 and $3,000 scholarship for our diverse students that are coming in the door. So I'm pushing that, and there's a lot I could say behind that that I can talk more direct with you all or with your students. I can send you information with all of this stuff in there. And again, I'm just excited about reaching out. If you have programs that you are doing on your campus and you would like for somebody from our staff to come to, or virtually to be involved with that meeting or those sessions, please let me know. Myself or my coworker are available to be able to do sessions like that. We are right now kind of still tightening up a little bit of the programming for the rest of the semester. So if you have those things, if you're interested in those programs that we have many other programs. If you are interested in a tour, in a face-to-face tour, bringing some of your students to our campus, we can definitely make that happen as well. We're really excited about offering those face-to-face tours. Again, they are limited on the size, but we do have enough students that we can accommodate as many as you would like to bring. So we're really excited. Again, Dr. Evans, thank you so much. I'm not going to take too much time. I wanted to introduce myself to some and reintroduce myself to others, and to let you know that we are interested in your students, and we want to provide the best type of assistance that we can for the students that may be interested in coming our way. And if the students have not ever looked at UNC Wilmington, I challenge them to do so. It's a great environment, great learning environment, small classroom sizes, and we're able to really be able to provide a lot of assistance to them, especially at this point. So again, thank you, Dr. Evans. Thank you so much for your time this morning, and please make sure that you are taking time for yourself. I know that you all are working stretched and things are very different, but please make time to re-energize and still be able to provide that great service that I know that we all have done for so many years. So thank you so much again, and I hope you all have an amazing day.
Thank you, Mr. Rayner. Before you depart, does anyone have any initial questions or any other prompts that they'd like to find out from Mr. Rayner? I guess I'm curious, what is the group size cap for campus tours? And will your campus, I imagine, most likely be virtual for fall for fall of 21 and spring of 22.
Okay, yeah. So those sizes, the tour sizes right now are 10 people on a tour, and we can, if you have, obviously most of you could definitely have more than 10. We can still arrange to have our ambassadors and our students to be able to take care of that need. We just need to know how many people would be coming, and we can set that up and make that work. So 10 on the tour at a time. But we'll have enough that we can take care of everybody. Currently, what we're projecting is that our virtual versus face-to-face will look a lot like it does now. There's not a whole lot of pre-planning from that front, because I think, like a lot of people, you put the things out there and it changes so much. So right now the projection is that it looks a lot like it does now. Currently, we have a lot more virtual offerings than face-to-face, but we do have a great number of students that are on campus that are face-to-face. And moving forward, I think the narrative has been such that we, kind of play it by ear, see what's going on with the state, see how how things progress, and we'll make sure that we get that out there as soon as possible.
So there's a question in the chat box, and it reads, do you have any information and literature that we can share with our minority students?
Yes, and I can get that information out as quickly as possible. We can definitely get you some hard copies of things. You can also give them my contact information directly. I am in the office every other week. So right now I am at home. However, I can definitely, I'll be in the office next week, and we can definitely get that information out there. And again, if you want, for each individual campus, if you wanted to set up a information session, I am more than happy to do that, to set up some time. Right now, typically those are at about 45 minutes to an hour, that we can offer for institutions at a time. I'm willing to set that up too, as well, to get the information out in reference to programs, in reference to the application process, as well as the scholarship that we have to offer.
Thank you so much. Any last minute questions before we jump into the remainder of our agenda this morning?
Well, I have a comment.
Jump in.
This is Greg from Forsyth Tech, and we actually toured UNC Wilmington in the fall of 19. And so we were very well received. The information, as well as the actual tour, was great. Beautiful campus. Everything actually went very, very well. So I encourage our participants to definitely take advantage of this opportunity.
Thank you, sir.
Well, Mr. Rainey, you're welcome to stay. Feel free to send me any information, and I can make sure that I can disseminate it out. I'll also get you that contact list that you need,
Okay.
And we can go from there.
That's perfect. Again, Dr. Evans, thank you so much for the time. Thank you also to all on the call. I appreciate your time as well, and I hope to speak with you or see you soon.
All right. So next on this list, I think most people know we have hired our system president. One request that we did receive was his contact information. So President Stiff has been making his first few campus visits, and I know many of you have requested sort of a direct access or direct link to him via phone or email if you'd like to invite him to any of your campuses for face-to-face meetings, as well as any programming or opportunities to connect with him directly. So that the phone number is to his admin, and of course that is his direct email that is linked to him at all times. And so as he is, venturing out to many of our colleges, I think he's already been to 6, by my count at least. This is a wonderful opportunity to, connect with our new system leader. The system conference is currently ongoing. There are currently roughly 4 to 5 sessions every day, and it's not too late to register if your institution would like to register you as an individual. All the sessions are via Zoom. The website is, and all the sessions are available on the website that you see here. And so I've attended sessions almost every day now, and I've taken away something new and learned something as we go along. And so if you are interested, we still have roughly 3 weeks left of virtual sessions. And so we definitely encourage you to join in as possible. With the virtual session, I put this in the email and I haven't had any takers, so I'm going to pause here a moment and ask or plead to see if any of you have any students that would like to volunteer for a student virtual panel. The panel will take place on Monday, March 1st at 9 a.m. It's again a Zoom session. Essentially, they want to hear stories of impact of how institutions have aided and helped students go through COVID, social unrest, all those things, and continue their education safely and timely. And so if you have any of those highlight stories, please, please, please send me the information with the students, and I can get you connected to those that are coordinating and moderating that session, and we can go from there. All right. The next two things the next one I included in the email, but my next slide is not. So hopefully you all have been engaged in conversations regarding whether your institution will allow you to attend the equity coach training. I think each institution is being asked to select 2 members. I know some of you from personal conversations are going to be the minority representative for this particular training, and others have inquired about it, but the institution hasn't made a final decision. That opportunity is still here. There's 2 more days to get signed or express interest from the system office, and I hope that you will be engaged in this process as well. For those who may be interested in doing some train-the-trainer work, or further having additional conversations surrounding equity on your campus, the system office and the Student Success Center has created modules that are free and uploaded to the system office, this website that you see here. And it is a free introduction to equity course, and there are a number of interactive modules and videos and things of that nature that are fairly entertaining and engaging in order to have ongoing conversations locally at your institution. And it's something that we invite counselors and admissions staff, anyone really, who's interested in advancing the topic of equity and inclusion locally. Please, please, please check out the equity training module on the Student Success Center website. And there's a first-time introductory how to navigate the site video that we definitely encourage individuals to review before delving into some of the other work on that site. Next up, many of us had the opportunity to attend an appreciative advising in the community college session. I believe it was last week or this week. I can't remember, the days seem to run together, but the session I attended was very informative because the author of the article was able to provide a checklist that they utilize with students using the appreciative advising framework. And so this checklist, I will attach it to an email to you this afternoon. You know, basically addresses these 6 steps as you are meeting with students either individually or as a group. It's just another tool in the toolbox, as well as some additional information and prompts and questions for our coaches and our counselors to ask of students as they are navigating these times. And so be on the lookout for that article. You should be able to Google it if you need to, but I already have it, already downloaded the special issue, and I'll make sure that hits your inbox here before the end of the day. All right. So next up, really this time, one of the requests that we always have is a time for our colleges to, speak to one another about, strategies and ongoing things, and really highs, lows, and some virtual opportunities for travel. So these are sort of 4 topics that I picked that I figured that many of you would be interested in discussing amongst each other. And so, we can start with spring enrollment and retention efforts that have taken place. And, obviously we're now into the spring 21 semester. So I'll sort of open the floor if anyone wants to talk about, the strategies that they've tried, or any celebrations or any concerns as we move forward to the end of the current academic year that we are in. And so I'm going to pause here and see what thoughts may be out there.
Good morning, everyone. This is Will Kinsey with Wake Tech Community College. First of all, I do want to say Happy New Year to everyone who I may not have said it to in one way or another. I know I've talked to several people over email. I may have mentioned this before in meetings past, but just to let you all know, as far as additional opportunity with funding, we were fortunate enough, our program, we did just secure a third $20,000 grant through PNC Bank. So PNC is very philanthropic in the areas of supporting programs such as this. So I just want to encourage you. I know that everybody's doing different things as far as data collection and just looking at unique ways to engage your students. But I just wanted to encourage those of you that may be looking for extra, just to kind of look into, if you have foundation offices, of course, look into your foundation office. But also I know that they are, again, this is our third, but with the things that we've been doing as relates to assisting students with whether it's with book scholarships, a lot of the assistance that we've been able to give has been internal, but also a lot of external. One of the things we are looking at doing is a virtual summit, which you all will get more information about. But a big part of those funds will also cover the expenses that we have with our virtual summit. But anyway, I just wanted to, this is not to brag or anything like that. This is just really to get the word out there and say, that PNC Bank is very interested. I know from our end, from our standpoint, from what we can see, in supporting programs such as this. So if you're doing a good job anyway as it relates to keeping data and really doing things with your students. And another thing that I can say is, and we don't hear this often, of course, numbers are important, but really they look a lot at quality. So if you have a lot of qualitative, if you will, for lack of a better word, evidence, testimonials from students, if they're out of the box things that you all are doing at your institutions that's making a difference with the students that you serve, that qualitative information carries just as much weight as the quantitative. I know a lot of times we tend to shy away from looking at certain grant opportunities because we know there's always a push for numbers. And while numbers are important, the qualitative piece is definitely still needed. So just from one coordinator to another, I just would encourage you all to just to look into additional funding opportunities. You know, if you find unique ways, if you're using unique ways to help your students and it's working, PNC Bank, I know, is one of those entities that support such efforts as that.
Wow, thank you for that insight. And one question I have is that your local chain? Is that a state chain that you are coordinating with, or is it sort of the national office? I guess how do you get in? How did you initially get in touch with PNC?
Well, again, I had mentioned before, just, and everybody already knows this, but I had mentioned just, checking in, or, the relationship that you have with your foundation office, because our foundation is well connected to our local community. So I would say to start there. Like, we didn't really go about it on our own. Our foundation office, they were contacted by PNC Bank, and PNC Bank pretty much said, we're looking for a program that does this and this. Do you have a program that's looking to meet that need? And so our foundation office connected us to them. And so then it's just a matter of putting in a request, and through our offices. But we work in partnership with our foundation office and a couple of representatives from our Office of Sponsored Programs. So we put together our first draft, and we worked with them to finalize the grant draft, and then it went from there.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to pick a topic to share or start some discussion?
This is Marbeth Holmes. I'm the Dean of Student Success at Nash Community College. I don't have $20,000 grant information, but I'm going to be checking out PNC. But I did want to share that our institution recently conducted a DEI survey, and our administrative council and strategic planning committee are taking that data and information, and we will be having conversations on our campus, developing professional development. We have opened up the Equity Coach application to anyone on campus who is interested in pursuing that opportunity. And we will be looking for resources, scholarship opportunities, and such as we pursue more of an intentional, mindful focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I am deeply grateful that we have this system-wide now as an earnest effort.
Thank you for sharing. Was that survey something created in-house, or was it an external tool that was used?
It was in-house, and it went to all of our faculty and staff, full and part-time, and it will also be going out to students.
Thank you for sharing. That's great. I know that there are many institutions that are doing similar work, doing some assessing their campuses from that standpoint and viewpoint. And we've received a lot of questions surrounding, will there be a comprehensive equity assessment here from the system level? I know that there have been some conversations behind some closed doors regarding, what does that look like, holistically, and at least up to this point, that goal hasn't come to fruition. Any other strategies or things that your campuses are utilizing or trying or didn't work so well that we'd like to discuss while we have this time?
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Katrina Johnson from Central Piedmont Community College. So I just have a question with the engagement strategies. I feel like this semester was a little bit better, it's starting a little bit better with engagement, but I was wondering to open up the floor if anybody had any creative or innovative engagement activities for their programs. Dead silence. Okay, we're all struggling. Just wanted to put it out there. I felt like I was the only one kind of bumping up against the wall. Like, what do I do to get these guys to come to the meetings? But I see all of us are struggling.
Well, while you all are uh, letting that question marinate on your hearts and your minds, uh, I'll give one or two other updates that I didn't include in our slides. In my January email, the very, very long email I sent to everyone, and so it may have been looked over. We haven't received any additional funding requests here at the system office, which is curious one. So I just want to make sure that people did see that we are currently in the mode of receiving those should you need additional funds. And two, we haven't received any updates from your budgetary expenditures regarding your budget projections and expenditures for the end of the year. And so those two things are sort of interrelated. We know that each year we return funds, and those funds have ranged from over $100,000 to, we'll say, just under 50. And so we do know that there's always funds left over. And I've been scolded and yelled at to ensure that we do our very best to ensure that every last dime in this grant is spent to the best of our ability. And obviously, we know that institutions are subsidizing programming and other things with CARES dollars. And so there's a lot of money sort of out here in the space to aid in the work that colleges are doing. But we do want to make sure that we do expend the money that we need appropriately. And I saw a hand raised, so I didn't catch it because it went away as quick. So if you had a comment or a question, feel free to chime in.
No, that was me. That was by accident, but I'll email you. We need additional funds.
Gotcha. Would anyone like to share any student travel or virtual conference opportunities? I have two on my next two slides, but I didn't know if there were others that folks have found that they are going to seek to do either this, spring, summer, or moving into the fall. So there's a question in the chat that asks, can the scope of how the money can be used be expanded? So that is a yes and a no at the same time. I think there are some fairly black and white hard lines that prevent it being a full yes, but then there are some strategies that we can sort of work around, some gray areas to allow institutions to spend money a little more freely, so that it's sort of a yes and a no. There are some ways to word or strategize or borrow money from Peter to pay Paul that we've been able to work with institutions to utilize funding as best benefits the institution. Man, y'all are quiet this morning. All right. So I'll talk about the two student conference opportunities that I have listed. And if there are others, or if there's a topic that we need to go circle back around to discussing, we can. So the first is one hosted by one of our very own. So Mr. Spain and Pitt Community College and his organization are hosting the main initiative for 2021. It is coming up here shortly. Registration is currently open and goes through April 2nd. And should you want to present on some of the work that you're doing, or have a session with students and or professionals, the proposals are open until March 1st. And so you have about 3 weeks to get that information in. That is a wonderful opportunity, not only for professionals, but also to engage students. We've had Mr. Peterson for our MMSI conference now, which was, I guess, 2.5, 3 years ago, and he was a wonderful speaker. And so I've heard him speak on a number of other occasions as well. And so again, this is a wonderful opportunity for students to engage and be engaged with students. Lost my train of thought. Any questions about that one? You'll see the website there, which has information on individual and group registrations, as well as how to submit a proposal. The second one is one that I've attended as well, and unfortunately, it was moved from April and shifted to November, but registration will be open soon. And so the Clemson Men of Color Summit was shifted to November. It's usually in late March or early April. And so registration will open this semester. And so, so I guess this is, again, one of those ways of, how do you, typically state funds can't carry over to another academic year, but there are some creative ways to make it happen if you were, for example, wanting to register students for something that was going to take place on a different academic calendar. And so if you have questions or, ways to sort of address that issue, feel free to call, and I can tell you how other institutions have sort of conducted this workaround. And again, if you'd like to submit a proposal, those proposals are currently open and they close on March 10th, which again is approximately a month away. So those were two conferences that I am aware of that, our institutions engage with fairly often. In terms of the main summit and the cost, I'm not quite sure. I'm trying to see if I can Google it right quick.
JJ, I have those numbers for the main summit, the registration. If
yes, sir.
I can share it, or I can speak it out. I can speak it verbally. I met with Jasmine on last week. So it's $50 for high school students, $75 for college students, and $100 for adults. That's for the main initiatives conference.
Ooh. Thank you for sharing. I was busy on my secondary screen trying to find it.
So also while I have the floor, if it's okay, can I jump in to answer your question as far as additional conference opportunities?
Yes, sir.
Dr. Joshua Friedenberg is the founder of the Circle of Change Leadership Conference. I don't know if anyone has ever heard of him or not, but they are doing, and I've attended a couple of their virtual master classes before. He has some excellent speakers. There's a free virtual master class that they have coming up, and that's for professionals. So JJ, I forwarded that email to you about the virtual masterclass. You could forward that out to everyone. And then also they have under Dr. Friedenberg, they also have a first gen conference coming up. So I also forwarded that email to you, JJ, if you wanted to send that out to the others. And then lastly, I am going to put in an unofficial plug for our summit that I mentioned to you all earlier on Weight Tech. We are sponsoring our Boost Me Summit, and it's going to be March the 26th. It is going to be a virtual summit. It's free of charge. There's going to be, and we're actually working in collaboration with Joshua Friedenberg. So there is going to be a live DJ. There are going to be virtual prizes that are going to be given. And again, the workshops are going to center around the value of mentorship, careers for the future. And there's also going to be a closing keynote on social change to address the political unrest and what we're dealing with currently as it relates to that. So again, that's going to be on March the 26th. Our creative services department is finalizing our electronic advertisements, but I'll send that to you as soon as all of that is finalized. But now that we have the grant, we definitely can move forward on that. So I just want to throw those three things out there: the virtual masterclass, the first gen conference, and then the Boost Me Summit that we will spear up over at Weight Tech.
That's awesome work, and I will make sure that I disseminate any information you send to me will be shared to those on this call and all of our campus contacts as well. Any other thoughts, comments? We still have about 15 minutes to discuss any topic or issue, and so if there's something on the heart and mind, please let it be known. I'll give two short updates while you all are thinking. So one, student awards are still open. So academic excellence, Bob Scott and Dallas Herring, those awards are still open for, I believe, they close on the 26th of February. And so if you have students that you'd like to nominate, or if you need to send that, to see that award packet again, I can share it with each of you. So, please think about one of the students that you could potentially nominate for those. And lastly, what's not included in the slide, just because it hasn't been finalized yet, this year for our Student Leadership Development Program, we are partnering with the Center for Creative Leadership in Greensboro to do 8-week summer leadership training for students. Each campus will be able to nominate up to 2 students, and that could be potentially expanded if an institution may be interested in nominating more. We just have a certain cap that we need to stay under, cost-wise, at least at this point. And so please be on the lookout for the advertisements that will be coming down the pipeline for that. You heard it here first. And we are excited that our system office is partnering with the Center for Creative Leadership for this program, and sort of as a additional plus, they will be receiving some certificate or documentation that they have completed a credential through the Center of Creative Leadership. And so we are excited about what our leadership program will evolve into for hopefully this year, but also years to come. And so those are 2 tidbits of knowledge that we're going to be covering next month when the application is live, but I wanted to share it with you all first. Now I'm going to pause and see if there are any other thoughts or comments or questions. Man, you all are very quiet this morning. Are you awake? Hello, hello, hello. Well, hearing no comments, I won't draw out the pain any further. Feel free to email me any information or documentation that needs to be shared amongst the group. Also, if you have not already, feel free to submit your local request to join additional listservs. So I know many of you are on the equity listserv as well, or on the student dev admin listserv. And so, we make sure that we'll disseminate information to you as best as possible so that it trickles all the way down to students as well. So the last thing I'll say is please, 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 please send any student nominations or stories for our student panel that's upcoming for our student conference. And the last thought that I always say is thank you for everything that you do for our students. We know this is has been a hectic, almost year now of dealing with COVID and all those things that sort of surround a virtual life. And so thank you for everything that you do. Please take time for self-care. That's something that our staff has been preaching internally. So, we hope that you are doing whatever is necessary to take care of yourself and your family as we hopefully come out on the other end of 2021 safe and sound. And with that, I bid you adieu. Have a great day. Please take care and stay safe.
Thank you.
Take care. Thank you for all of great information.
Thank you, JJ, and I just text you.